My name is Nick. This is World Coverage. We're getting to the one that everyone's been looking for. Everyone's been hounding me, everything like that. And this is this Thomas Brown breakdown. Thomas Brown is going to be the candidate for interim. I think it's going to be him or Evero. You'll most likely get this video before I put up the Evero video. So these are both from yesterday, the 16th. I am recording this on the 17th of November. And honestly, I'm giving this man as many props as I can. I actually put out a previous video where people tried to be all weird about it, and I'm like, man, he doesn't deserve it because of, because he's a black guy. He deserves it because he's worked fucking hard. This man has put in work. I'm super excited to see what TB will do with his scheme, his playbook, and the opportunity to not have somebody over his shoulders getting ready to remove play calling. Obviously, you'll see the thing above with dates and everything like that. It was removed about a month ago. Or, I'm sorry, he was given it about a month ago, removed just under a month later. I do agree with everybody. I think it's because Frank is putting his hands on the wheel as the car goes down or the ship goes down, whatever. He wants to be the one to take the blame. I do still believe it's to protect them. So this way, Thomas Brown is not fired for this. I think that Frank will get the axe, and Thomas Brown or Evero will be promoted to interim. He will get offensive play calling. Evero will do DC play calling and move from there. But yeah, man, let's just start this. I need to give this man his props. He deserves it. Again, worked really hard. Not going to take anything away from him. I hope he's our next head coach. If it's not Eric Bieniemy, we'll just put it that way. It's either him, Evero, or Bieniemy for me. I don't care who. I just need, again, men like this to get an opportunity because he's proved it. He's proved it by what he's put out on the field. The offense has looked better under his tenure, a little bit more fluid, though the points have not reflected as that. So yeah, let's get this thing going.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
This is a grown man's business, and I'm gonna handle this the same way I will every.
Good. This is what I like. Come out there, address it. Obviously, he had his play calling duties removed, so a lot of people have said it's going to hurt his opportunities long term. I do not agree with that. I obviously understand the stigma. It is 2023. We're starting to get more black offensive play callers, defensive play callers, and head coaches, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, he's worked hard. He deserves his opportunity, and I believe it's coming up Monday morning when the presser comes out, or just post game, where Frank just says, "Hey, I've been let go," kind of thing, or the Black Monday kind of thing, where all the coaches get fired. It's probably going to be Frank. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm just hoping that they fire Scott Fitterer too. I don't think that Thomas Brown or Evero can succeed with our GM. That's just my opinion. But yeah, let's just jump into this.
The situation moving forward, and that's as a grown man. To me, when you talk about like true leadership, the role of a leader is to make people in situations better, right? So I've been that way, committed to that my entire career before being here.
Yep, and he came from the Rams, tree, Sean McVay, and all that other stuff. I'm not sure where he was before that. I haven't done a full deep dive. At some point, I will do that when either him or Evero are promoted, in which case I'll do a full recap of what our offense and defensive coordinator looks like moving forwards, as well as if we get a different HC. But yeah, he's definitely had some tenure with the Rams, so that should translate. But yeah, I'm gonna let this man talk. He deserves it. He's worked hard. What are you talking about?
Since being here, and continue to do that moving forward, right? One thing a leader does not do is tuck his tail between his legs and find ways to run and hide from conflict or adversity.
See, and that's the one thing I will give Frank. He is taking it on the chin. He is accepting a culpability and blame, and he knows he's going to pay with his job. I like he's calling this out. I like that he's going to be an accountable interim or just play caller in general. I want accountability. It's my word for the rest of my life, essentially. People don't want to be accountable for actions, for their words, whatever. I like this. This is what we need moving forwards, an accountable head coach and everything like that.
To me, it's the exact opposite. Stand tall, keep chopping wood, you find ways to fix problems and help people. That's what it's about. And so
I could see a little bit with that body language where he's like, it just might just be because it's, stagnant in the room or whatnot. But it's just like, okay, I think you should have just let me chop the wood, Frank, and we wouldn't be in this situation. And I couldn't agree with him more. I think that was arguably the straw that's going to break Frank's back, meaning his tenure as head coach. I don't think he should have taken play calling away. I think he should have just trusted Thomas Brown and moved forwards. It's going to be a black spot in his career for a very long time. And again, I just hope that this doesn't hurt his tenure long term. I understand everybody's concerns. again, I have this sinking feeling Frank's going to get fired and they're going to keep Scott, and that is going to screw up this man's opportunities. That's going to screw up Evero's opportunities, or anybody else that we bring in for that matter. The problem starts with the GM who's been here since 2019, not the coaches that have been here since 2023. So.
Here we are moving forward, focus on the Cowboys. The overall product offensively has not been good enough all year. And as a competitor, that pisses me off.
See, that's what I want. That's the one thing that a lot of people have said. I like that he's not going crazy with it. So many people saw Frank on the sideline as like he's passive. You can still be assertive and be passive. I understand those might be two conflicting things to some people, but you can still command the room without having to scream at people. I like this. You can see him looking around. You can see him like angry, and he fully deserves to be. Yeah, he's earned this, man. He's worked hard. To see that removed from him was very sad. I knew that it wouldn't be great. Again, I wasn't too happy with the point totals put up, but fair comparison to say it's box score watching. I just want to see one game under Thomas Brown where we score more than 15 points. If that's this game, great. Let's roll with him for the rest of the time. I'm super excited about that. I just need to see more than 15 points. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for anything crazy. Just 15. Or more than 15, I'm sorry. 16 or more.
But the reality is we have to do a better job as coaches of coaching our players, demanding more to put these guys in better spots to have a better product on game day. And from a player standpoint, we have opportunities on game day to make plays. We got to make them, right? So I'm sure there'll be a bunch of questions. It's not about me.
You're going to keep hearing that like flick in the background. It reminds me of the things that are on the back of doors. Like the little flicky things that like your dogs or cats or like little kids would sit there and go back and forth. So every time he puts his hand out, you couldn't hear it. So that's just a funny little thing. But yeah, I couldn't agree with him more. I think this is him passively calling out Frank and setting himself up for the future. Obviously, he's not going to be like, Frank isn't doing this and that, because obviously that's not what you do as coaches. But yeah, this is what we need. I'm excited. It's either going to be him or Evero. I just got done with the Evero one literally just before I started recording this, so I'm excited. I want this man to light a fire under the players, under the coaching staff, under everybody. I want us to come out there. This should be Bryce Young's first three touchdown, no pick game. I just needed to be smart. I need him to motivate those players. Because if you're going to battle for this man, I can completely understand why.
Not about Frank. I have a job to do. I'm committed to that job. Always been committed to that job, and focus on trying to help our team be in the best spot to win football games. Good. Questions?
With that said, though, part of being a leader is learning how to follow, and how much do you have to kind of lean back on that aspect of the job of being a leader when now you do have a different job, I guess, again?
It's not a different job. I mean, other than not call.
It's going to be a different job, though. I think this is just the one where he's like, okay, whatever, I'll eat this one on the chin because you're not going to survive, meaning when he's talking to Frank. Yeah, the play calling was taken away from him. Frank's continued to say it's collaborative. I don't think so. But I agree with everybody. It's Frank's playbook, Frank's scheme, Frank everything. It's just him trying to execute and do what he can. He is apparently a big pre-snap motion guy, so I'm super excited about that. Frank really hasn't had that. But yeah.
Calling plays, nothing else has changed. I'm still game planning every day. I'm still running install meetings. I still have a big role and responsibility in practice. And as far as falling back on stuff, I was raised by the best leader I know. And so I'm going to continue to try to find the best ways to lead that I know.
Those your parents?
No offense. This just looks like somebody that's waiting for somebody to be like, you suck, and then he's going to be like, F you, dude, and go at somebody. Like he looks like he's like just kind of teetering, but he's conducting himself very professional. But you can just see through his body language and everything like that, like he's a little frustrated. Totally understandable. You should have still been the play caller, Thomas. I couldn't agree with you more on that.
Yeah, my mother, my father, for sure.
Shout out the Browns.
What was the conversation like with Frank? How did he come to you? When was this?
Officially, I would say Sunday night. That was confirmed, but I pretty had a good idea just based on some other conversations post the game, and even other weeks that could be a possibility. I'm not going to say that it's something I necessarily saw coming. Also not going to say that I'm necessarily surprised by it, but we live in a production business, a results-driven business.
See, okay, I like that. Man, this man's going to get an A from a grade from me, possibly better than Evero. I gave him an A minus. This might be a solid A. I like how what he's saying there. I do agree that the writing was on the wall for Frank to take back play calling. just because what everybody said. I'm going to echo a bunch of people. I'm not throwing anybody on blast. 2 growls, 1 roar. The Keep Purring podcast with Ben. A bunch of different players. A bunch of different, former players, ESPN, all that other stuff. All kind of agree that it was the writing on the wall, but it's just because the team was so bad. Offensively and everything, that they knew that Frank was going to go down. This is Frank's last hurrah, most likely. So I think he understood that. I think the conversation had it. I think that there was a conversation with the owner. I know it hasn't been reported, but I'm expecting it to come out after Frank is fired. But that the owner was just like, this is a must win, and if it's not a win, then you're gone, and that we're going to put TB or Evero in there. So I think Thomas is just like, okay, all I need to do is get through Sunday, and it's either going to be me or Evero, and then I'm getting full play calling back, so it doesn't matter. I'll take the L this week, but next week and every week moving forwards, I'm going to have a lot of W's. So I like this. I like the firiness. Again, it's professional. It's measured. He's being poised in the moment, showing us his future as a head coach, because I do believe he will be one, hopefully for our Carolina Panthers. But I can absolutely see this.
And every decision is supposed to be focused on trying to find ways to help the football team win. So he made the decision to give me an opportunity to be a play caller. He also made the decision to also take it back to having him be the play caller. So I have nothing else to do but other respect that decision. And
yeah, because again, a lot of people are like, "Oh man, this, and that." What is Thomas Brown's best option? He flips off the handle. People are going to use his race against him and all that other stuff. So he's just got to, unfortunately, take this. And again, next week is going to be offensive play caller again, because Frank's not going to be there. So
continue to do a really good job of moving forward, of helping our football team and our players be in the best spot. That's my overall goal, my responsibility, regardless of feelings and emotions. That doesn't change. To me, being a true leader, it's not about leading when you feel good, leading when everything is nice and dandy. That's the easy part of leadership. To me, it's about being able to still have command, have conviction, and inspire the group.
That's good. That's good. This is what I want. This is the one thing Frank hasn't been doing. Truly accepting responsibility. Again, he's taken it on the chin, but he's not like, we're going to be better and all that other stuff. It's always very head coachy answers. So I like this.
Thomas, when you were promoted, so to speak, you said besides looking forward to helping this team win, you liked the opportunity to open doors for other black coaches and other black play callers.
And before this even goes, I understand the whole race argument. I understand how it could hurt and everything like that. I just feel like getting rid of Frank and promoting him without getting rid of the GM is going to be the move that the owner makes, which is going to hurt Thomas Brown a lot more than getting play calling. Everybody sees the writing on the wall at this point that Frank's gone, that it's most likely because of his poor offensive play calling, meaning Frank's. So I understand this. I totally do. And I hope that our next coach is a black head coach, because Carolina deserves that. We've had so many great coordinators come through here between Wilkes, Brown, Evero, and so many more. But we need something different, and maybe this is the solution. Or Evero. Like I said, I'm super excited for either of them, especially after watching Evero's press conference. And Thomas is inspiring me in this press conference. I guess I should have watched these a lot earlier. This is head coach material right here.
Do you feel like this is a setback for you personally and for other minority coaches in your position?
Personally, or other people, I would say no.
I think he's saying no because, again, he knows what's about to happen. But he's just going to be like, no, man, this isn't about race or anything like that, blah, 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 blah. So that's just my opinion. Let's see what he says.
Again, that's a future decision to kind of see what happens down the road. But in the same respect of like leadership, right? I have a tremendous faith and belief in God and His vision and plan of my life. And so just like you talk about leadership and not cowering down and backing off of that because things aren't going well, I'm going to have the same, if not more, belief and faith in what I believe in because of, what I choose to believe in, but also because of past history, right? There's been a lot of things I've kind of been through in my personal life, in my coaching career that didn't always seem like it was going to work out in the long run. But one thing that I've never been about doing and I'm going to start doing now is trying to figure out how to worry about the future. I worry about today. And I said that, week one when I'm asked questions about preparing for the offseason of different player acquisitions, today is all I have. And so today is all I'm focused on.
And I think that's the right response, period. Not gonna go with that. Anything else. That's the right response. Again, showing that he's poised, showing he's ready to be a head coach. I do agree with him. I don't think that this hurts him in the long run. It hurts him in the short term. But I think he will still be a head coach again. Either going to be him or Evero. So
What Frank said yesterday, I mean, that 3 games, he admittedly was not a big enough sample size for you to really do what he called magic. I mean, would you have rather not even had that opportunity given how it ended so abruptly?
Well, I mean, to be given the opportunity and not, it's out of my control. Again, I'm a competitive person, so I don't care what it looks like. If I'm given an opportunity, I'm going to try to maximize it and be the best I can at that. Again, there was a number of things that end up not being the way it should have been or being as good as it probably could have been. But I'm going to take it 10 out of 10 times. So, because I'm going to bank on where God has placed me, on my own process and just past history, but also more importantly, this football team, what our guys can do.
great answer. Again, continue to smash it in another park. I'm going to continue to say so far this is an A+ press conference. It was an A before. This is good stuff. Thomas is really making me into a fan. Again, I know I've had some criticism of him. Again, I understand the box score is not okay to bring up, but it still matters. I understand he got us our win. Hopefully, again, he gets play calling back Monday morning, because I think if we do his scheme and everything like that, his playbook and the whole nine, this man could probably scheme up some really interesting stuff. Now, again, I will continue to pound the table that the personnel is still not there, and that's the GM's fault. It's just my opinion. Injuries don't help either, especially on the line. Obviously, we've got rid of Throckmorton and all that other stuff. So this man needs his chance. It's coming Monday morning. I'm excited for it.
Was there any one moment though in the last few weeks that you kind of sensed that this was coming before Sunday?
Yes, he's already said that. He said that previously. He said that he felt with all of the press conferences and everything, with the decisions being made behind the scenes and everything, that he saw this coming. So,
I mean, I would say the entire time, just because again, this is understand. Like I said at the beginning, it's a grown man's business, and so
and that's a grown man right there, fielding these questions, not dodging them, not giving head coach responses. He's giving the right response. He's giving the honest response, and I really appreciate that from him.
Not about feelings or emotions. It's about overall production and getting results. It's what drives or should drive most decisions. So I didn't think about it a whole lot. I'm not going to say there's one point that I thought they would possibly happen. But again, I'm not going to say that I'm completely surprised by it because we have to play better, got to coach better, got to get better results. So that's what it boils down to.
Yep. And again, I know that Frank's on his way out anyways, so I just need to, say what I need to say, be honest, do the right thing, because you're going to have play calling back in, what's today? Today's Friday, 72
Frank
hours.
said yesterday, he said it didn't do well under him either, the offense. Mm-hmm. And so what do you feel like is ultimately the reason this offense is failing?
Yeah, I mean, failure to me is final, so we're not done playing yet. Again, it's been well below our expectation, for sure. And to me, it's about what I said at the beginning about trying to find ways to us coach and demand better, give more clarity, try to put our guys in the best spot to make plays on game day. And when we have opportunities, we got to make them. So it's kind of a collaborative effort as far as players and coaches be on the same page to get that done.
Are the players here to run the offense that you and Frank want to run?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. A lot of people are going to say that, okay, this, and that. That's the right answer. We're past the trade deadline. There's no free agents that they've really gone after, even now that Chosen has been let go. So this is the right response. You can't be like, yeah, Maro, this offense, we don't have the personnel, we don't have this, we don't have that, blah, 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 blah. You can't say that because they can't fix the roster right now. Unless you decide to gut it for a bunch of free agents, it doesn't make any sense. So this is the right answer.
Again, there's a million different scenarios you can go through about I don't care where you are or where I've been other places, whether it's college or being with the Rams, of, woulda, shoulda, couldas. But you have an opportunity. We all have an opportunity. That's all that matters. So we.
By the way, why is there two? I know I'm pointing the wrong side. It's actually over here. Why is there two things on his chest? The center, one on the left. That's super weird, right? Maybe it's just me. Have I just not seen? Again, I haven't been watching Thomas Brown a whole lot, and that's 100% on me. But yeah, I'm just looking at those. That's super weird. I don't know. It's just throwing me off. I keep looking at like the one in the center, and then I look to the one to the right, and I'm like, man, what the hell?
We have the guys we have. I love
real quick, it reminds me of that panel hat that everyone hated on Frank for, that I agree was atrocious. Actually, shout out, Keep Purring Ben had this white one on, like whiteout. I love the shit out of it. I'm gonna have to get me one.
Today in our offensive meeting, but we have to produce and be in a better spot. That's what it boils down to.
Thomas, you brought up this being a grown man's business. It seems like when there is accountability, at least from the outside looking in, that it's limited to one person or a few people as to the entire group. Obviously, we can't see behind closed doors,
right.
But from the standpoint of being a 1-8 team, what is the collective accountability behind the scenes right now?
Well, it's an indictment on all of us.
It's an indictment on all of you, but you're afresh to the coaching staff, so I don't expect you to get the X. Again, this is going to be the right answer, not the correct answer. I understand those things might correlate, but it's the right answer in the moment, because he can't be like, yeah, bro, Frank hasn't put us in a place to succeed. Granted, he hasn't either, but I think that, again, goes with what he said. It's personnel and coaching working together. Not as many people have been motivated. I think that is because of Frank, which, again, I will continue to pound the table. He will get the X. I'm not a Frank fan. I just can't stand the ad hominem attacks and all these other random stuff. I think everybody deserves a chance. He's obviously ruined that chance here. Thomas or Evero getting that opportunity.
Because it'd be no different than if we were undefeated. It won't be about one person. Different than other sports, football is truly an ultimate team sport. Like, not disrespecting other sports, but in basketball, I can get an elite small forward and 4 serviceable guys, and we can probably have a shot to maybe make the playoffs.
Hey, man, he's calling out LeBron right there. Great small forward and 4 pieces around him like that. Cavs can be brought or dragged to the finals
and make a run. Right, it takes all 11 in all 3 phases, including the coaching staff, to put our guys in the best spot to be successful. So it's a collective accountability. There's no ducking, fair dodging from that. We got to own that, respond to that the right way, and keep moving forward.
Excuse me. Thomas, with the 3-game sample size, was that enough time to truly show what you could do?
Before he even gets to this, absolutely not. That's why I said if he's going to give it to him, it's going to be a detriment to take it away. It is a detriment right now. Again, an indictment on the head coach. He should have never taken it away from Thomas. I'd rather Frank get fired by believing in Thomas than him taking it away. So I agree that was a massive fumble for Frank.
I think that's a tough question to answer. Again, it's an opportunity that I had. And so opportunity I didn't have before. So all I can do is control the controllables, and I can't worry about everything else as far as if it was enough or not. That's my focus was trying to put us in the best spot to have success. We only had 1 victory in those 3 attempts, and the overall goal of every coach and player on a football team should be trying to find ways to affect winning. So we got to figure that out.
The Cowboys are putting up points in droves, so as well as your defense is playing, there stands a possibility that this could be a shootout. How do you prepare for a matchup like that against a team that can put up so many points?
So no matter who you're playing, the goal of our offense is to take care of the football and score points. So whether they average 3 points a game or average 30 points a game, the approach is how can we attack their system, put our guys in the best spot to activate in every aspect, the run game, in protection, in the passing game, and put them in the best spot to win.
I agree with that. Again, he's given perfect answers so far. He looks poised, but again, he also looks pissed. So maybe that's just his face. I don't know.
There now have been 10 rookie quarterbacks who've started a game this year. In your mind, and I guess let's talk specifically about Bryce, what are some outside factors, and by that I mean beyond his control, that most impact potentially his development?
I don't know if I can answer that question. That might be a better question for him as far as what other outside factors impact him. I think it's in some ways no different than any other player or coach. I think, and I said this weeks ago, it's important for all of us to ignore noise because people talk, good or bad, and it's always, for the most part, based on your situation. And so a lot of times if you do well, people say you're really good. If you do bad, people say you suck. There's people in between that probably always say you suck regardless. So it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Shout out to all the Twitter trolls too. But yeah, I like this response. He's actually starting to open up. You can see him being a little happier. I like the body language change. That's He's being honest. He's being open. I like this.
Raw, right? So the goal is to be focused on your role, your responsibility. That's him included, but also all of us. To focus on our jobs, our daily improvements, and try to continue to find ways to impact this football team in a positive way.
We'll do a couple more.
Why do you think that these rookies are all getting more opportunities now than, I mean, it was only 3 years ago, 9 of them started, so it's not like new this year, but how have you seen that evolve over your time?
I think, to be honest, that change happened a few years ago when teams finally decided that rookie quarterbacks are when they go in, like the 49ers and a few other teams where they're just like, you know what, we don't have to pay the quarterback yet, so we can put a ton of pieces around them and try to win. We didn't do that this year. We still haven't paid Burns. The Panthers have continued to falter for the last few years, which again, I'll continue to blame Scott Fitterer for. It's not Thomas Brown's fault. It's not Frank Reich's fault. It's not Evero's fault, even though he's been here 2 years. It's not his fault that the personnel is subpar. It's the GM who can't acquire, in our scouting department that apparently isn't a great evaluator of talent, with Throckmorton and Icky, for example.
I'm in college and in the league.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it could be a number of different reasons. I think every organization is different as far as their reason behind it. It could be just they feel that the individual gives them the best opportunity to be able to win. It could be future evaluations, or it just could be the increasing need to produce right now and trying to find answers for that. So,
and see, that's where I think this is the other side to the argument. We were told that this team is ready to win now. We're a quarterback away, blah, blah, blah. We were never that. We were sold a lemon of a team. And that's why we're in this situation. That's why we only have one win, because we believe that we were ready and this roster was never going to be close. I've been a very open critic about LaVisca and DJ Chark. The fact that a 33-year-old wide receiver is our wide receiver 1, who, if he stayed on his old team, would be at best wide receiver 3. So yeah, I just don't. I mean, if we were to send LaVisca and Chark back to the Jags, they're wide receiver 3 and 4 behind Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley. I mean, they've even got a few others that might even be ahead of them.
So I think it's situation-based. It's not a one-size-fits-all answer, in my opinion.
Have you seen any Bryce starting to develop any bad habits because of what's been going on with the offense?
I wouldn't say he's developed any bad habits because of that. I think no different than any other rookie. We have to coach him and everybody else hard from a fundamental standpoint, development standpoint, to give us all the best opportunity to be in the best spot to win a football game. So
that's a great answer, because remember, Bryce is still a rookie. This is still a porous, injured offensive line. So yes, he's probably got bad habits because he's tired of being like destroyed in the pocket. So
Chandler's back, playing left guard. Played really well at right guard week 1.
Yep.
Left guard kind of had his struggles before the injury. What's the outlook on him now that you've been able to give him kind of a step back, kind of out of circumstance, and put him back in the lineup?
yeah, so hopefully an opportunity to learn from his past experience, but also other players even being thrown in that same situation. I think it's always, whether it's a player or a coach, to have a natural tendency to give up on people when they struggle. And I think
that might have been a shot at Frank. Hopefully, I'm actually going to send this clip over to Two Growls and ask his opinion. Hopefully I can get it in this video if he's unavailable, but I won't be able to get it in here. But I really think that was a shot at Frank. Shot over the bow, at least.
we have a different approach when it comes to that. It's always about trying to find ways to encourage our guys, again, still be demanding and hold them to a high standard, but continue to give guys an opportunity to compete for their playing time, their production, and it's on them to be able to be in that spot when they're given to make the most of it.
Couldn't agree more, Thomas. You get an A from me, man. Great press conference, very poised, was able to open up more towards the end to be a little bit more personable and everything, because he did look super pissed throughout that. I could not agree more that he is totally justified in being angry. He should have never had play calling removed from him. It blows my mind that it happened, but again, Frank is just trying to keep his hands on the wheel as the ship goes down. I still don't agree with it, but most people will understand why that happened. It's either going to be you or Evero, bro. I'm super excited. I want to see this offense. If you guys can come out there and put 16 points or more on the board, you get my sole vote and everything. And I will, actually. Shout out to anybody that follows me on Twitter. It's Roll Coverage Pod over on there, or on YouTube where this video is. Drop a comment down below what you think. If we end up coming out of this game, the minute we score 16 points, I will make sure to post on Twitter #FireFrank, #FireFitterer. It's going to happen. If we can somehow sneak away with a win, even crazier. But regardless, I'm super excited for this weekend. I am Nick. This is Roll Coverage. Hopefully, y'all have a great weekend.